All right, strap in, everybody. Let's take a deep dive into Haunted Whispers.
Ooh, yeah.
You guys brought us this story called Sarah, and
Yeah.
it's got all the classic horror elements, but it just twists them in this really interesting and unnerving kind of way.
Yeah, and it uses those tropes to really great effect.
Yeah.
You know? The story starts off simple enough. A young woman, Sarah, moving to a new city, new apartment.
Yeah, new apartment, okay. All right, so she's starting over.
Right.
Classic kind of horror movie trope.
Exactly. But then things take a sinister turn
A sinister turn.
when she starts getting these late night calls.
Oh, those late night calls.
Yeah.
Okay, you know,
Those always get me.
when I first heard about them in the story, I was like thinking about that feeling
Yeah.
you get when your phone rings in the middle of the night.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you just know
You know it's bad news.
it's bad news.
Yeah.
But these calls,
It's so much worse.
so much worse.
Yeah. Haunted Whispers describes the voice as, like, hollow and haunting.
It was so creepy.
Oh, yeah.
And they say it's whispering her name over and over again.
Oh, yeah, it's just whispering, Sarah, Sarah. And it's just
Yeah.
so, it plays on that fear of the unknown. It creates that immediate sense of dread. Like, who is this? What do they want?
Yeah, and I have to say the sound design was incredible.
Oh, amazing.
Like, did you notice how they layered in
Yes.
those little background noises?
The creaking floorboards, the howling wind in the distance. Yeah,
Yeah, it's subtle,
it is.
but it totally adds to this, like, creepy vibe.
It's a really good example of how Haunted Whispers just excels
Yeah,
at creating a soundscape that immerses you in the story. Like, you're right there.
right there with her in that dimly lit
Yeah.
apartment.
Yes.
You know, and it's not just the sound design, it's the pacing, too.
Yeah.
Those calls start escalating.
Yeah.
They're getting more frequent,
More personal.
more personal. And it's like the callers are getting closer and closer
Oh, yeah.
to Sarah,
Yeah.
like invading her space.
Invading her space and her privacy.
And it's interesting because the phone is normally a symbol of connection.
Right.
But in this story, it's a tool of terror.
Oh, yeah. It's this ominous presence in her life.
Yeah.
It's this constant reminder that someone or something is watching.
I felt so bad for her.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the voice starts revealing details about Sarah's past.
Oh, that got to me.
I know, and it's stuff she hasn't told anybody in her new city.
Yeah.
And that's where the story goes from creepy to
Terrifying.
downright
It
terrifying.
makes you wonder how much of our lives are actually private.
Well, that's a great point, right?
Yeah.
Because the story taps into that anxiety we all have about surveillance
Yeah.
and technology being used against us. Like, you know, all that data
Oh, yeah.
you put online
Uh-huh.
makes you think twice about it. Oh, absolutely. And it's like a classic horror trope, but with a modern twist. You know, the monster hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
But it's not a person hiding. It's this disembodied voice
Exactly.
in this everyday object.
Haunted Whispers takes that familiar trope and makes it modern and just so much creepier.
It's creepy. And it's like a conduit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the phone is a conduit for the supernatural.
Yeah, blurs the lines between real and unreal.
And as the story progresses, it gets even blurrier. Like she starts questioning her own sanity.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, is this all in my head?
Or is something really happening?
Yeah, it's great because it keeps you guessing the whole time.
That ambiguity is what makes it so good. Because you're constantly questioning what's real, what's imagined, and it just plays on that fear, you know?
That instinct.
Yeah, things that go bump in the night.
Oh, speaking of things that go bump in the night.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when she hears that knocking at her door?
Oh, yes.
I had to turn on all the lights in my house. I was like, nope.
Oh, I had to pause it for a
The
minute.
way they use sound
Yeah.
to build suspense, it's just,
Yeah.
it's masterful.
That knocking scene, though, that's like a
Oh, yeah.
turning point.
Pivotal.
Yeah, because it shifts from just like the mental terror to like a physical threat, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Because the phone calls are creepy.
Yeah.
But the knocking,
It's like there's somebody at the door.
someone's right there. Someone has crossed over into her reality.
Oh, and then the voice on the phone is like, don't open the door.
Oh, chills.
I know.
So good.
It's so good.
It just heightens the tension because she's not only being like harassed through the phone,
Right.
but now it's trying to prevent her from getting help.
And then
Yeah.
when she sees her own reflection in the shadow at the door,
Oh, yeah.
oh, that image is burned in my brain.
Oh, my God.
That is so disturbing.
It's so powerful.
It's like, is it a merging of identities?
Or is the real horror coming from inside?
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah. It's like they're holding a mirror up to our fears.
Our deepest, darkest fears.
Yeah. To confront that darkness in ourselves.
That is a chilling thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the things I think is so interesting about this story is the psychological elements at play.
Oh, totally.
Like,
yeah.
Sarah is a young woman. She's alone in a new city, new apartment.
Yeah.
So she's vulnerable.
Isolated.
To fear.
Yes.
And suggestion.
Absolutely. And, I was thinking about that. When we're deprived of social interaction, our minds can start playing tricks on us.
Yeah.
Like I've read some studies about that, and it's fascinating.
Yeah.
So the constant calls, the whispers, the lack of an explanation,
Yeah.
it's all just creating this psychological stress.
It's the perfect storm.
For her.
Yeah.
So how much of what she's experiencing is actually real versus in her head? That's the question. And that's one of the things that makes Haunted Whispers so compelling, because it's not just about ghosts, it's about how fragile our minds can be when we're afraid and isolated.
And they play with that so well.
They do.
Don't they?
Yeah.
Just create this sense of dread that lingers.
Oh, it lingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you question reality itself.
So are you ready to go even deeper?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Because we're just getting started.
There's still so much to unpack.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's dive back in. This story really gets to that primal fear of the unseen.
The unseen, yeah.
We as humans, we're just wired to be afraid of what we don't understand.
Totally. It's like when you're walking alone at night
Uh-huh.
and you hear footsteps behind you.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know who it is,
Right.
but your imagination goes crazy.
And Haunted Whispers does that so well.
So well.
They don't give you an image of whatever is tormenting Sarah.
Yeah.
It's just a voice.
It's just a voice whispering.
Sparing threats.
Yeah. And revealing secrets.
Yeah.
Which I think makes it even scarier. Because
for sure.
our brains fill in the blanks.
Totally.
And they create the most terrifying thing possible.
And I think that's really the power of audio storytelling.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have visuals, so
It's just your imagination.
your imagination runs wild.
Yeah.
And Haunted Whispers uses that to their advantage.
They do. They do.
Yeah, they create this atmosphere just through sound alone,
Yeah.
leaving you to imagine what's out there.
It's like they're saying, here's a seed of fear. Let your mind grow it.
Exactly. And that brings us to another point.
Okay.
The power of suggestion.
Oh, yeah.
Did Sarah actually see her reflection at the door, or was it a hallucination?
Or was it the fear?
Yeah.
The fear and the paranoia.
That is a good question, and I think it speaks to this larger theme of perception
Oh, totally.
and how unreliable it can be.
Yeah, we like to think that what we see,
Yeah.
what we hear is real.
Yeah, it's the truth.
But this story kind of challenges that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It makes you think how much of our reality is
Shaped by it.
shaped by our beliefs and our fears.
And we see that all the time in real life.
We do.
Like eyewitness testimonies can be so different.
Even though they saw the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so interesting.
And it makes me think, our memories are not infallible.
Nope, they're not.
They're easily influenced.
Absolutely.
And Haunted Whispers uses that to create this unease, this uncertainty.
It just kind of hangs over the whole story.
It's like they're saying, don't trust your senses, don't trust your memories.
Don't trust yourself.
Oh, that's creepy.
Which is really the ultimate horror.
Yeah.
Because if you can't trust yourself,
Yeah.
who can you trust?
You're really freaking me out.
But that's what makes it so good.
It is good. It is good. It gets under your skin.
It does. It really does.
Makes you question everything.
Yeah. And that's where we keep coming back for more.
We do.
Don't we? These stories, they challenge our perceptions.
They force us to face our fears.
Yeah. They make us think about the mysteries of the world.
Exactly. The things we may never understand.
And it's funny because something designed to scare us can also be comforting.
Oh, yeah.
Like ghost stories around a campfire.
I love that.
It's a shared experience.
It is, yeah.
It brings people together.
Yeah, you're sharing that fear and that wonder together.
And that's what Haunted Whispers does so well.
They do.
They create this community through
that
fear.
community of listeners, yeah.
Who love these stories.
Exactly.
About the uncanny and the creepy.
Drawn to the darkness.
Yeah, it's like
on the edge of our lives.
A secret society of scare fans.
Yeah.
And Sarah's story is so relatable.
Oh, yeah.
Because it reflects so many anxieties
it does.
that we all have, like being watched.
Yeah.
Technology used against us. The isolation of the modern world.
That feeling of being alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Haunted Whispers is holding up a mirror.
Yeah, a mirror to our fears.
To our fears and anxieties.
Because we're all carrying around these devices that connect us, but also can track us.
They track us, they spy on us.
They can be used to manipulate us.
Mm-hmm.
And in Sarah's case, the phone is the symbol of that.
Exactly.
It's like Big Brother is listening, but he's a ghost.
Ooh.
Okay, that was a bad joke.
I like it.
But seriously, how much control do we have over our lives anymore?
That's the question. Right.
In this digital age.
And Haunted Whispers is exploring that.
They are.
In this really complex way.
It's not just a ghost story.
It's not. No.
It's social commentary.
It is. It's making us look at these uncomfortable truths.
Okay. I think we need to lighten the mood now.
Yeah, we do.
This is starting to feel like one of those late night calls.
I know.
Let's talk about the ending.
Okay, the ending. Yes.
The ending of Sarah is one of the most talked about things.
It is. It's so ambiguous.
It's abrupt. It's ambiguous.
And Haunted Whispers did that on purpose.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. They're masters of that. Leaving you wanting more.
Oh, yeah. And that ending with Sarah just disappearing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they ripped out the last page of the book.
Yeah, before we got to the end.
Some people love that. Some people hate it.
They do. I've seen so many opinions about it.
It's refreshing to have a horror story that doesn't wrap everything up perfectly.
Yeah.
But it's also frustrating.
It can be.
You know?
Yeah.
Because you want to know what happened.
It lets you imagine your own ending, though.
That's true. That's true.
And it makes the story stay with you longer.
Yeah, you can't shake it.
Yeah.
It's like those nightmares where you wake up right before you see what's in the darkness.
Yeah, you're left with that dread.
Yeah, and you can't escape it.
And that's what Haunted Whispers is so good at.
They're so good at it.
Yeah, they know how to get under your skin.
And they leave you hanging. That's why we love them.
Exactly. Always wanting more.
Always wanting more.
More questions.
Yeah, more chills.
More chills.
So let's talk about what happened to Sarah.
Oh, okay.
Or what we think happened.
What we think might have happened?
Yeah, because they don't tell us.
They don't know.
Did she escape?
Did she?
Did the entity take her?
Or did something else happen altogether?
Yeah.
That's what makes this deep dive so fun.
It is fun.
We're not just retelling the story.
Yeah.
We're going deeper.
We're thinking about what it means.
Yeah, the implications, the psychology.
And we're exploring the boundaries of what we know.
What we know and what we don't know.
Yeah, that's what makes ghost stories so interesting.
It is.
They force us to confront what we don't understand.
To think about the limits of our understanding.
Yeah.
That there are things we may never know.
And sometimes that's scarier than any monster.
Sometimes it is.
So with Sarah's fate still unknown,
yeah,
I think it's time to talk about what this means for you, the listener.
That's right. How does Sarah's story connect to your life?
Yeah, your fears, your perceptions. Let's find out. Here we are, at the edge of the unknown. Sarah's story has taken us through the dark corridors of Haunted Whispers.
It has.
And now we need to shine a light on what it all means for you listening.
That's right, because ghost stories aren't just about chills and thrills.
Right.
They're a reflection of our deepest fears.
Yeah.
And anxieties and our fascination with life and death.
And Sarah's story with its themes of isolation.
Oh, yeah.
And paranoia and just how unreliable our perception can be. It really hits home.
Yeah, it does. It makes you think, how would I react? If I was in Sarah's shoes, getting those creepy calls.
If you felt like something was closing in on you, how would you cope?
Yeah.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Would you try to ignore the calls?
Would you try to rationalize it all away?
Yeah. Would you just be totally consumed by fear, like Sarah was?
And that's where I think the story's message about the power of suggestion really comes in. Because Haunted Whispers doesn't tell us exactly what happened to her.
Right.
But they plant those seeds of doubt and fear.
They let our imaginations fill in those blanks.
Exactly. It's like they're saying, here's a puzzle, but we're not giving you all the pieces.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And it's so effective because we're left to deal with that ambiguity.
Yeah.
And come up with our own explanations.
And I think that's where the real horror is.
Okay.
It's not the jump scares or the sound effects.
Right.
It's the unsettling idea that our minds can be our own worst enemies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting philosophical.
A little bit. A little bit.
But it's true. This story makes you question everything you think you know.
Yeah.
Like, how much of what we experience is real?
Is real. Yeah.
And how much is our anxiety and our fear?
That's the question philosophers and scientists have been debating for centuries.
It really is.
Yeah.
And Haunted Whispers brings that question to the forefront.
I do.
And it's not just an individual thing.
Right. It's societal, too.
It is, yeah.
This fear that technology can be used against us.
Yeah.
The feeling of isolation even though we're so connected.
Yeah.
The erosion of privacy in the digital age.
It's all there.
It's all there. It's like they took all those anxieties and turned it into this chilling ghost story.
It's so smart.
So what do you think? What really stuck with you
after
hearing Sarah's story? What made it so effective?
What does it say about our fascination with the supernatural?
You know, one of the things that I think is so scary about it is that Haunted Whispers doesn't give you any answers.
They don't. No.
They leave you with more questions.
More questions, yeah.
And you're forced to confront the unknown.
The unknown.
Yeah, both in yourself and the world around you.
And that's maybe the point, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the real horror isn't the ghosts or the monsters, but the realization that we'll never truly understand.
The forces that shape our lives.
Yeah, the forces at play, that even with all the information at our fingertips, we still don't have all the answers.
There are still mysteries out there whispering to us in the dark.
And reminding us that we're just small creatures in a big, vast universe.
In a big, vast universe that we'll never fully understand.
And on that note,
we'll
leave you to ponder those shadows.
Until next time.
Keep exploring the darkness.
But be careful.
But don't let it consume you.